fine. Let's start our today's lecture. Our today's lecture is about the components of computer system. We will discuss different types of computer systems and discuss the main components of these computer systems. First of all, we will discuss what is computer. As we all know that computer is a machine, and what kind of computer is a machine? That kind is programmable. Like we have to give the instructions towards the computer. These instructions are the softwares, are the programs that we are providing towards the computer. And when we are giving any instructions or any program towards the computer, it will process according to our instructions. And in the last, the computer will give us the results or the information according to our data, according to our program. So there are the three basic tasks the computer is performing: input, processing, and the output. So for the processing purpose, the computer need at least one processing unit that is known as central processing unit or the brain of the computer. And in the history of the computers, we have started the development of the computers from the calculators. And these calculators are same like our today's calculators are less efficient than our today's calculators. The calculators has no memory, but with time, the scientists realized that the computer needs the memory to memorize the things. Like same in the case of brain, we need memory to memorize the things. So they included the memories inside the computer so we can recall the data or we can retrieve the data for future. So if we are saving or we are doing any work, we can utilize that work or we can edit that data in the future. So also along with the processing unit, we need at least one kind of memory. So the processing element carries out the different type of operations: arithmetic operations, logical operations. The CPU can make the sequence inside the instructions, and they can, on the priority basis, and the CPU can change the order of the operation. Sometimes we have to do the shortest job first. Sometimes we have to stop working of one operation and we have to start another on basis of some priority or some interrupt basis. So the CPU is not only doing the calculation, other scheduling or the rescheduling tasks can be done by using the processing units. Now, that is the way how the computer is processing the data. Whenever we are giving the instructions, programs, or data by using the input devices, it will go towards the central processing unit. And in the central processing unit, we also have a memory unit or backing storage unit. So we have to save these instructions to the memory, and then the computer, after processing the data, computer also saves that results on the memory, and from memory we are transferring that instructions towards the output devices. So these are the four basic units that are compulsory in any computer system. No categories according to the working and according to our purpose, because almost in every field of life we are using the computers. Like if we want to share the data towards over millions of users, if we want to use the system for individual person, or we want to make videos or something else. So according to our need, we need computers. So according to these systems or uses, we have different categories of the computers, like based on the capacity, speed, and reliability. We can divide our computer into different categories. So according to size, we can say that the computer has the following types: supercomputers, mainframe computer, mini computer, multimedia computer systems, mid-range computer systems, workstations, and personal computers that are also known as the PCs. Now we will discuss these types one by one. The first and other categories of the computer systems are based on the type of input. What kind of input we are giving towards the computer, that is known as the type of input. Like we are providing the continuous value, we are providing the digital value, or can provide the digital or the continuous value. So according to these, we have the three categories of the systems. These are analog, digital, and hybrid computers. Now, according to size, the largest computers are the supercomputers. As the name indicates, supercomputers are the most speedy computers. And as we can say that why they are the speedy computers or why their speed is so much high, because we have millions of processors placed inside the supercomputers. Now, why we are utilizing these kinds of computers? Whenever we have a lot of calculations, we have to do the trillion of instructions to be calculated in 1 second. We have to use the supercomputers. So these type of calculations are required in research basis or in weather forecasting, for scientific purposes, for simulations. Whenever we have to make the nuclear systems or anything that need extreme calculation at in that kind of environment, we have to use the supercomputers. So these are the fastest and the largest computers. So we can say that we have to utilize thousands of processors. These computers has huge capacity to store the data, and these computers can be utilized in the research basis. So different government agencies can use these computers. Now, the categories of supercomputers, as we discussed, these are the fastest and the as they are the fastest computer, and there are thousands of processors placed inside these computers, so they will be more expensive computers. So that's why only the big organizations or the government agencies are able to hold these computers. So they can calculate up to 10 trillion individual calculations per second. This is also the reason which makes it even more faster. So it is used in the stock market or big organizations for managing the online currency, words such as Bitcoin currency, etc. It also used for the scientific research areas for analyzing data obtained from exploring the solar system satellites, or for weather forecasting. We are utilizing or using these type of computers. Now the next are mainframe computer. Now the second environment in which we have to share over data among over different sort of users, like for flight scheduling, we have to provide a centralized system to hundred or thousands of the users. For banking environment, we have to provide the same and unique data towards all over users. So in such environment, for a centralized system, we have to utilize a system that has a capability to share the resources along with all the users. So mainframe and the mini computers are the types of computer. They have the capacity to facilitate thousands or hundreds of users at a time. So they have the ability to share the data and store the huge amount of data. So they designed in such a way that they can support hundreds or thousands of users at the same time. It also supports multiple programs. So whenever the multiple persons are using the computer, so they are not calculating all the time, or all the persons are not doing the same task on these computers. Like if we consider the example of banking, in banking, every person is doing different sort of calculations or transaction. Someone is doing the transaction, someone is only open the app to see the account balance, or some is going to pay the bills. So everyone is utilizing different sort of programs or apps, so they can execute multiple instructions at the same time. So all these features make mainframe computer ideal for big organization like banking, telecom sector, which processes huge volume of data in journal. Characteristics: it is also expensive due to their functionality and due to their components, as they are also have larger capacities to store the data, so larger memories and larger processing powers, because they have to handle thousands of users. So they are also expensive computers, but they are less expensive as compared to supercomputers. It has high storage capacity and great performance. It can process a huge amount of data, like in banking sector, in telecommunication sector. It runs smoothly for a long time and has a long life, as we have to facilitate our users, so we have to make over computer, more accurate and more efficient. Now, mini computer, they are same as the mainframe computer, but they are less expensive, less powerful, and has less capacity as compared to mainframe computer. So they are less expensive as to mainframe computer. So the companies who are not able to afford the mainframe computer, they can utilize the mini computers when they have the less customers, and like customers in the users, hundreds of the users they have. So mini computers is medium sized multi-processing computer. In this type of computer, there are two or more processors, and it supports 4 to 200 users at a time. Mini computers are used in places like the institutes or departments for the different work like billing, accounting, inventory management. Like in same organization, in different departments, we can utilize the mini computers. It is smaller than the mainframe, but larger in the comparison to the microcomputers. As they are smaller than the mainframe computer, so they have less weight. Because of their low weight, it is easy to carry anywhere. Because they have less processing power, so they are less expensive than the mainframe computer, and they are the faster computer, but faster than the mainframe microcomputer, not mainframe computer. Workstations are designed for the technical or scientific application. They are the not they can be used for a specific task only. Individual person can be used like over personal computers are general purpose computers. We can do the calculation, we can run the videos, we can play the sounds, we can make pictures, we can do editing. So multiple tasks can be done on over personal computers. But workstations are the computers that are dedicated to a specific task. So it consists of fast microprocessor with a larger amount of RAM and high-speed graphic adapter, because we have to do a single task only on these computers, and according to our specific task, we have to run these computers. So they have the great accuracy. Like we can consider example of ATM machines. They are only dedicated to the specific task for the transaction of the money, so they are much accurate as compared to other systems. So it is expensive or high in the cost. They are exclusively made for the complex work purpose, because we are specifying that system to a single task, so they are complex in sort of working. It provides large storage capacity with the better graphics and more powerful CPU when the compared to the PC. So it is also used to handle animation, data analysis, computer-aided designing, audio and video creation, and editing. So mostly in the graphic designing areas, we are utilizing these systems. Microcomputers, personal computers, it is basically a general purpose computer and designed for the individual use. Like end users can use these computers. So it consists of microprocessor as a central processing unit, memory input unit, and the output unit. So this kind of computer is suitable for the personal work, such as whenever we have to make the assignment, we have to watch the movie, or we have to do our office work. There are different kind of personal computers are available in our surroundings. These are the laptops, desktops, over cell phones, over laptop computers, over MacBooks. These are the type of over microcomputers. In this limited number of software can be used because they have the limited capacity. It is smaller in the size. It is designed for the personal use only. So they are very user friendly and every person can use these computers. Now the next one are multimedia computer system. Multimedia means the combination of text, audio, and video. Whenever we have to make a variety of media, we have to make an information that consists a variety of media, including the text, graphics, audio, and video. We have to use these type of computers for the animation purposes, for the video clip making. We can use these computers. So many people think of the computer like video games, multimedia encyclopedias, educational videos, and multimedia homepages on the World Wide Web. However, the multimedia systems are widely used in the business for training employees. Like in factories, whenever we have to train some employee about the working of any machinery, we can make an animation of that machinery, and the employee can understand the internal working of that machinery. Whenever we have to train the pilot, we can see show him or her the animations whenever we are making the different things like for dams. We can consider the animations before the final construction. So in the animation, we can analyze different difficulties that can be sought out before the actual development of that system. So we can make the animations and we can utilize these systems for training of different employees. We can educate the customers. We can make the sales presentation and we can add the impact to other business presentations. So to deal with the large amount of data, very high processing power is used. File system must be efficient to meet the requirements of the continuous media, because the video must be run on the fast speed, otherwise there will be a halt or there will be a pauses we have to face, and the output will not be accurate. So the file system must be on can handle the continuous media. The media files require the high desk bandwidth rates. Like we need fast communication. Multimedia consists of variety of media formats for the file representation, including JPEG, MPEG, AVI, midwave, doc, GIF, PNG, etc. So these are the different formats that we can use for the media multimedia. In multimedia applications, the input and output should be continuous and fast. Now the next one is mid-range computer system. Mid-range computers include the mini computers and the high-end servers. Like nowadays, instead of the mainframe computer, we are using the servers or the mid-range computers. They also have the same purpose as compared to our mainframe computer, but they are more powerful, or we can say that they are the more latest computers as compared to the mainframe computers, and they have the more capabilities as compared to these computers. So they are also the multi-user systems that can manage network of PCs and the terminals. Terminals are the different machines that we are attaching with our systems. So mid-range computer serves as the industrial process control and manufacturing plant computers, and they still play a major role in computer-aided manufacturing, where we have to run the factories or other things where we are making the machineries or other equipments. So mid-range computers have become popular as powerful network servers to help to manage the large internet websites, corporate intranets and extranets, and client server networks. Where we have to facilitate multiple clients, we can use the mid-range computers. We can use a mid-range mini computers and mainframe computers. Now, the mid-range computer sides between the personal computer and the mainframe in terms of processing power and the size. So we can say that they are more powerful than the personal computers, but less powerful than the mainframe computers. So it is the combination of faster processor rated higher in million of instructions per seconds or million instructions per second, the capability of having more processors running at the once and greater memory capacity, because we have to handle multiple employees. So you have to make it a powerful computer. It is capable of doing the similar task as a mainframe, just not quite on the same large scale, but they can facilitate thousands of employees, users. According to the input type, the previous types are based on the size, speed, and the capability. Now the next are the types of the computer according to their input. These are the analog, digital, and hybrid computer. So we are utilizing different physical machines surrounding us. Like these machines are the most commonly or simple used, or the thermometers or other things that are operating on the physical quantities. These are the types of analog computers. So it is designed to process analog data, the continuous data that can measure the voltage or the current or other things that has the continuous values. So they don't have the discrete value like 0 1. As we know, the computer can only operate on the 0 1. These are the type of digital computers. So analog computers is used where we don't need the exact value or need approximate values such as speed, temperature, pressure. So for that quantities, we have to use the analog computers. So they are directly taking the data from the measuring device without first converting it into numbers or any other code. So it measures the continuous charges in the physical quantity. It gives the output as a reading on a dial or a scale. Like for thermometer, they can show the value of the temperature. For example, the speedometer, the mercury thermometer, and etc. The analog machines are designed for a specific purpose. Like for temperature meeting, we are using the thermometer. For the current meeting, we are using the voltmeter. So these are generally used to monitor the real world condition like wind, sound, movement, temperature, etc. In addition to the technical application like automatic transmission and musical synthesizers, analog computers are also used to solve the specific computational problems, calculation problems, like practical nature. Like whenever we have to measure or calculate the cumulative voltage of over all the devices that we are running inside the computer for that purpose. So we are also using different type of analog computers. Now the digital computers that operates on the digit, not on the um, continuous value. Although whenever we are recording the sound in such type of computer, as we know, sound is a continuous value. First we have to convert our sound into the digits 0 or 1. Then these type of computers can work on the continuous values. So it takes the raw data as an input and processes it with the program stored its memory. And in the last, as we have discussed in our definition of the computer in the last, every device that is considered as a computer, it has the three capabilities: to take the input, to do the processing, and to provide the output. So it only understands the binary input 0 and 1, as the digital computers operates on the electricity, and the electricity can be shown only the two states, on state or off state. So we can say that the digital computers only understand the 0 and 1, on and off state. So after taking the input, the first step the digital computer has to do that, to convert that values, text, voice, or any image into the form of 0 and 1. After conversion of our data into the binary, then our computers will start doing the processing, and then in the last, after processing, they will provide the final output, and that final output will be in the form in which we have given the data. Like after processing, the computer's responsibility is to convert over binary language again into the voice form, and then it will show the output towards the user. So the user and the input devices are responsible to convert the user's language into the computer language, and after processing, the output devices are responsible to convert the computer's language into the user's language. So all modern computers like laptop, desktop including smartphones are types of digital computers. Characteristics: these machines are automated machines. The speed of operation is very high. They can carry out trillion of operations in 1 second. As the starting types of computers, mid-range, multimedia, or supercomputers, mini computers, mainframe computers, all these computers belongs from the digital computers. So these computers store the information in encoded form, 0 1 form. from which guarantees it's the accurate retrieval. Whenever we have to retrieve our data, that will be in the human language. So we have the system inside our computers. They are responsible, these systems are responsible to convert the human language into the computer language and computer language into the human language with the accuracy. So these computers are versatile in the sense that they can carry out different jobs at a time. So we can say that they are the multitasking computers. We are saving our data, we are uploading our files, we are printing our tasks, we are typing our new data. So multiple tasks can be done at the same time. So it can store and recall any amount of information because of its secondary storage facility. Because these computers has the memory, so they can memorize the things, and after any time we can recall these values. Hybrid computers. Hybrid, as the name suggests, whenever we are combining different things. So the combination of analog and digital computers are known as the hybrid computers. So the input can be in the form of analog or the digital, and also the output can be displayed in the form of hybrid, in the form of analog data or in the digital data. So they are the fast like the analog computers and have memory and accuracy like the digital computer, as they are the combination of both. So it has the ability to process the both continuous and the discrete data for working. When it accepts analog signals, it they can convert that analog into the digital system before processing the input. And whenever they are receiving the input in the form of digital, they can also have the capability to convert these digital into the analog. So they have the capability to convert these as, values, vice versa. So it is widely used in the specialized applications where both analog and digital data is required to be processed, like in ICUs. For nowadays, we are using in the artificial intelligence, in robotics, we are using the hybrid systems. So a processor which is used in the petrol pumps that converts the measurement of fuel flow into the quantity and the price. So we are measuring the continuous value and displaying that values in the digital form. So they the petrol pumps has the machine mechanism to convert the analog data into the digits. So that is example of hybrid computers. Characteristics of hybrid computer, as they are special purpose computer like uh, at the petrol pumps, these machines are specified to that task. The robots are also responsible to do only one task. So they are special purpose computers. Like in ICUs, we are utilizing the systems for a specific task to measure the ECG or other things. So it can process both the continuous and the discrete data. It usually has the high cost compared to the analog and the digital computer because of their making, and their components are expensive. So they are more expensive computers. It is the combination of the qualities of analog as well as the digital computers. Now, components of the computers. These were the types of our computers. These, according to different organization, according to different scenarios, we have to use different variety of computers in our environment. But most of these computers has the same components, or the category of the component is same. So every computer has two type of components that include the hardware and the software. Hardware means the physical components, and the software means the instructions that we are providing towards the computer. Now we will discuss these two components. The first is computer hardware. As I told you, the hardware means the physical components of the computers, are the physical parts of the computer that we can touch, that we can see in front of us. These are the computer hardwares. So we are directly interacting with computer hardware. or we can say that we are working on the computer hardware, like by using the mouse, by using the keyboard, by using the microphone. These are the types, are the examples of our computer hardware. So as we are seeing the our output on the computer screen, there it is also the type of computer hardware. So in other words, it can be said that the hardware simply refers to all the tangible and the physical components of the computer. So this includes all the components that we can see are the touch. So the components of the hardware. The hardware also has the subcategories in which we have four. These are the categories of the computer hardware: input unit, output unit, central processing unit, and the storage devices. We are somehow familiar to these things. Input that are responsible to provide the input are the data, output are responsible to display the information, and the central processing unit is responsible for the processing. So for that purpose, we also divided the central processing unit into the three parts: memory unit, control unit, and ALU, arithmetic and logical unit. And the storage devices are responsible to store the data permanently. So that are the types of computer hardware: input, CPU, central processing unit. In central processing unit, we are utilizing memory unit, control unit, ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. And output will be in front of us. That can be a printer, that can be a monitor, that can be a speakers. So different variety of output unit or output devices are available. Input unit, as we discussed, the input unit consists of input devices. As we have the variety of data, the data can be available in type of text, audio, images. So we need different variety of input devices. So all these input devices are the part of our input unit. So the that unit is responsible for the two purposes. The first purpose is that we have to provide the input towards the computer, and the second is that, as we have discussed, the digital computers can only understand the 0 and 1. So whenever we are providing ABC from our keyboard, or we are providing voice towards our computer, so input unit or input devices are also have the circuit that will convert our continuous or the analog data in form of 0 and 1. Like if we are typing ABC from the keyboard, that will be converted into the form of 0 and 1. So every input device has a circuit that is responsible to convert the data in form of 0 and 1. So, for example, using a keyboard, we can type the things on a notepad, and a computer processes the entered data and then display the output. So in input unit, we have multiple input devices. So the data entered can be in the form of numbers, alphabets, or images. We enter the information using the input device. The processing unit converts it into the computer understandable languages, and then the final output will be received by the human understandable language. Output unit, that is reverse to the input unit. After processing, the output unit will receive the results. That results are known as the information or the output. And there are various output devices connected to the computer that can be monitor, printer, plotter, speakers, projectors. So the most basic is the monitor. Whenever we write using a keyboard, or we are clicking using a mouse, it will be displayed by using the monitor. So the output unit gives the final result once the entire processing is done within the mechanism of a device. For example, when we visit an ATM machine, we enter over details like language, PIN, amount to be drawn, etc. And then the final money which the cash dispenser releases in over is over. Final result are the outcome. So in this case, the cash dispenser acts as a output unit. Central processing unit, CPU, are the brain of our computer. That consists of three more components. Are the We can say that there are the three parts of CPU, that is memory unit, control unit, and arithmetic and logic unit. All these three components work together to do the full processing or the complete processing. It is also known as the brain of computer, and no action can be conducted by the device without the execution and the permission of the central processing unit. So the microprocessor helps in fetching the data and providing suitable results to the user and placed inside the CPU. So all the working will be done inside the central processing unit. That's why that is a brain of computer. So we can say that that is the main processing unit of the computer. Now we will discuss the components of CPU or the central processing unit. The first one is memory unit. Memory unit, as over memory, is responsible to memorize the thing. So, say in the case of our computers, the memory is responsible to memorize the things. So, when we enter the data in the computer using the input device, the entered information immediately gets saved in the memory unit of the CPU. Because if the CPU is not able to memorize the things, or there is the no system to save the input or the instructions inside the CPU, or CPU cannot be able to do any work. Because the presence of some existing programming, the memory unit transmits the data further to the other parts of the CPU. So similarly, when the output of our command is processed by the computer, it first saved in the memory unit before giving the output to the user.